Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Site, the Moat in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you use other people's emotes. You can say hi. You also don't have to chat if you don't want to. You've got options, and I'm here for the to support you in those options. Thank you to Dreidel Spin for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you for following. I hope Lasberg is here. Hello, Lasberg. Hope everyone's doing good tonight, or okay, or well. Aristocrat is here. Hello, Aristocrat. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here, everybody. Tonight, we will continue to work on the AE86 from Initial D. Lord Crashington's here. Hello, Lord Crashington. Hey to you. We are currently at 40 subscribers. I'd like to get to 50. If we get to 50, that would be rad. Right now, we are at 40, and it's okay that we're at 40. So if you'd like to become a subscriber, now would be a great time to do that. If you used to be one, if you were gifted a sub and you let that gift elapse and you want to get cool emotes and not see ads before the stream starts, you could do that. Support me a little bit. You don't have to, but you could. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community, join the gift sub leaderboard. Right now, Aristofan has one gift sub just at the top of the leaderboard there with the one, so you could join that in if you wanted to, under no obligation to do so, of course. And I won't keep talking about it. I will talk about it at least one more time, which is the pause for the cause, and I talk about ways you can support the channel. I'll also bring that up. I don't have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna talk. I got a mini rant in me in the anime portion conversation, I should say, of the stream tonight. I'm going to talk about an anime which was already bewildering in its existence, but when I realized during episode 2 what exactly episode 1 meant as far as the story, I'll get into it later. I gotta rant about it. I gotta talk about, will I clip it, and will it be the next best to build with there? Possibly. I do want to. I tweeted about it, but I don't want to talk about that. But we'll chat about a few things tonight. I'm sure conversation will come up about any number of things. Talking about the build we're doing, talking about some Twitter shit, good and bad. Surprisingly, things you want to chat about tonight. We'll talk about some manga, I'm sure, because I have been reading a few things. So we'll chat about that. I just got an email that I'm checking, which is nothing important, and that's fine. And we'll work on this model kit. If you missed the stream on Monday where we began this kit, we'll look at it in the overhead in just a moment. Hey, Jam, welcome. Happy to have you here. The AE86, our car kit is a 1/24 scale kit, which is a good size for a model kit. It is, because it's a car kit, those are traditionally glue kits. We're not using actual glue. We are using Testor's liquid cement right here. This is the liquid cement that I use. It was recommended when I started getting into kits that involved it. And so we will be applying a little bit of liquid cement, which actually melts the very top layer of plastic. And so when you attach it to other plastic, they adhere together and hopefully don't flake and fall apart. So far, we've had no, I've had to reapply it on a part because I didn't quite put it on right, but we have had no need to repair anything, including the muffler, which I was very surprised I didn't fuck up. But let's go to the overhead. I'm going to retweet my tweet out there, see if we can get a few more friends to come join us tonight. That's always nice when people come join us. We are going to start working on the engine, but we'll go to the overhead here. Here's the overhead. So we got this here. As you can see, we've done some of the undercarriage, which I believe is the correct term. Hey, if I don't know the correct terms, I'm sorry. I legitimately don't know a whole lot about cars, so I'm doing my best. But yeah, we got the muffler, we got our wheels on. These are fixed. These are not meant. This is not meant to be a car that you build and then you drive around on your desk and you just wheel it around. These are not going to move. They are glued in place. I guess it would be possible if you wanted to adhere this in a way that you could roll them around. I certainly could have put these wheels on in a way that they were not glued, but I chose to glue them to make them fixed, to add stability so that it won't wheel around, because I don't think I'm going to actually nail this perfectly, and I don't think it's going to be all balanced on each wheel. Where there's a will, there's a way. Totally the rest of it. I mean, you can always just do this, lift it up a little bit, and then just roll it around there. But I chose to make these fixed wheels because I don't want it to be a little like heavy on one side, like leaning on one side, and then just start rolling away. Or maybe my table isn't perfectly level. So that was the choice I made. But anyway, we've got some components of our vehicle here done, which is great. We'll put that here. We'll put that here so you can still see what's going on with it. And then we'll get to build it here. I'm gonna adjust my overhead lighting a little bit. We're going to work on, I want to say this is the radiator, or it's the engine block, for the fan for the engine block. Look, I don't fucking know. We're going to work on the engine, which is going to be inside the car, and we won't see it unless I have the hood popped open, which I don't think I will, but whatever. So this is going to go here, and then there's some little pegs here that are going to fit in. I like doing test fits on this stuff because I like to see how it's supposed to look before I go ahead and commit to it. Okay, so it's going to go like that, and we just need to put our liquid cement here and here, because those are the two places that we want, because we have straight lines on our instructions, and a straight line means apply liquid cement, and the dotted line means don't. But we did, with the wheels, we did use liquid cement, which, it was optional, but we did go ahead and do that. The tires, I should say, specifically. Okay, so we're going to do that. We'll let that sit for a second. Always going to try to put the cap back on in between things to decrease the amount of fumes in the air. We do have I do have the air conditioning on at this very moment, and not a window open, so ventilation in here isn't as good as it's been. But I wasn't going to be like, hey, mom and dad, turn the air conditioner off and let's all open windows, because I'm using a little bit of liquid cement right now. I didn't want to say that. All right, so this should be enough. I'm now going to put pressure, because we are heating these two pieces together, and we are allowing them to heat up, have a chemical reaction happen, and then adhere together. So we'll get some pressure on there, and then we'll put it aside. And if we have to reapply and over-apply, we certainly can. And now we can get the next pieces together, which is going to be 121, 112, 140, and have to cut some, and 139. Okay. 139 are these pieces here. Let's see. Okay, so got 4 139s here. Great. Tiny little pieces here that we will apply with liquid cement and get it going. How's everybody doing tonight? How are we feeling on this Thursday? I hope everybody is had a great one. I'm doing okay. I was busy today. I had some errands to do. I had a little bit of yard work to do. I had a project to do, which was fine, and I got done quicker than I originally intended, which is great. And I quote unquote had some anime to watch, because I don't right now. I have 3 shows. They all come out on Wednesday that I am watching, although I am dropping one of them. And I don't have anything coming on Tuesday. I don't have anything coming out on Thursday. So I end up watching at least one of them on Thursday. Although, as I said, I am dropping one of my Wednesdays. And I'm going to try a Thursday show, I'll try this weekend. And if I like, I will add to it. Because I am dropping the only mecha show that I was watching this season, and so I'm going to see if one of the other mecha shows is something that I'm interested in picking up. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I just don't know. But let's see. Okay, Possibility Space. We should talk about it. It's a new video game studio. They're talking a big game about like, like, hey, we're in New Orleans, but we're gonna have people all over the place, and we're really focused on work from home, and we're gonna make a AAA title, and we've got a bunch of cool people that you know from games, and people that maybe you don't know from games. They're also cool, and we got Austin Walker working as a lore master. That's not what the job is called, but that's basically what it is, which is both writing lore and then also being ready to like back up, like doing the work of creating it and then making sure that it's accurate and all that, which is very funny that is what Austin is doing. Um, a bunch of stuff. Um, but the real thing is, I love Austin very much. I think he fucking rules. He's a great dude. He is a friend. I appreciate him very much. And I will only say this now, right now, and Lastbrook has already said it in chat. Look, if somebody else was working on this and Austin wasn't there, then I would be making fun of the name Possibility Space as the name of a. It's just such a corny name. Possibility Space is incredibly corny of a name to be like, oh yeah, well, hey, what game studio are you working at these days? Oh, I'm working at Possibility Space. Look, Possibility Space sounds like the name of a ad agency that is actually not a real company, that I would have applied to before. And if I've applied to a place called that, I wouldn't be surprised if I've applied to a place called Possibility Space. But it feels like the name of a scam, like a scam company. Oh yeah, Lastbrook says the company is fine. He thinks that Austin's job title is that's what you're referring. Okay, I mean it is very much a nerd job. It's a wonderful nerd job, and yeah, it's like yeah, and the title they gave isn't as cool as what it could be. It's not like a cool name, but yeah, my opinion uh, is that I'm very happy for Mr. Austin Walker, but I fully 100% believe that name is for the company. Names are hard. 100% Aristofan. Their first game should be Space Possibility. See, that would be great. It's just my opinion that Possibility Space is it's just a bad name. It's just a bad name for a thing. Like, it just doesn't work as a name. It just like, it sounds fake. It sounds fakey. It sounds like the name of a company that Austin Walker would make fun of on Waypoint Radio. And so I'm very happy for Austin and the other people involved. I hope they do great work. I hope it's a fulfilling and wonderful job. But also, I am a little mad at Austin for robbing us of the chance of easily making fun of a silly name. So I'm a little miffed. I'm surprised they're first to get that studio name. Yeah, like I said, I mean that might be just the name of a think tank that we've never heard of. It's totally possible that is already a name that exists out there, and we just don't know it. But it's just not the name of a game studio. All right, so now we gotta apply these, and I gotta stick this into this part here. This is going well. No League of Heels show. To let this anger out for a bit. Yeah. Look, if I thought the PAX Unplugged audience would get it, I would make a reference to it in the next improvised postmortem, which comes in December. I mean, they haven't approved the panel yet, but I assume they will. Oh, going back, I should say going back how y'all are doing, because you did answer that, and then I was just like, I'm gonna talk some shit about my friend and his new job, and the name of the company at his new job, which is which is not fair of me. Dirty says, asking how y'all doing. Good so far. Made some fresh cornbread and pot of beans today. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Although I may have disowned a sibling after they asked if I had sugar to my cornbread. What kind of heathen uses sugar in cornbread? I mean, look, if cornbread is a dessert to you, maybe you put some sugar in. If cornbread is a side, like a side dish, you don't put any sugar in there. But if you're making like a cake, if your idea of shortbread, a cornbread is like a shortbread, then maybe there's some sugar in there. But yeah, I agree, Dirty. And then Lasper says, not bad, I guess. Currently 0 for 2 on having GameStop deliver me this Dread Special Edition. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry, Lasbrook. Just bought a copy from Best Buy. Excited to see if I go 0 for 3. Oh, that's awful, my friend. I'm sorry. Um, okay. It must be easier than ever to get PAX panels approved. So, I mean, look, let's say this. Let's just be honest about this. I've only had one PAX panel ever rejected, and that's because they didn't think that my Lego panel made sense at PAX Unplugged, which it didn't. Uh, it didn't. It didn't belong there. I was just like, whatever. I'm going to submit it. Um, but that's it. They're just like, yeah, this doesn't seem right. Do you have any other panels you want to do? And I'd already submitted one. I was like, let's just do this one. So look, I understand I'm in a different position, but yeah, I would say Unplugged, probably a little easier to get some panels together this time. That also, to be fair, I did submit 2 panels, one of which I don't think I'm going to need anybody else. One of which I was like, hey, I don't know who's coming to this convention, so I don't know who's going to be on this panel. So here's hoping that some people I know are going, so that improvised postmortem isn't just me improvising by myself, which could be a thing. But yeah, no, if I can't book like 4 guests, 4 is the minimum. Me and 4 people, that's the minimum. If I can't book that, then I'll cancel the panel. Um, but yeah, no, there's probably less competition. You're probably right. All right, this didn't work out right. I got to put these. These are not pist. I want to call these pistons. These aren't pistons. This is actually a little hard because these are small little pieces. So I'm going to do them one at a time, and I'm going to hopefully do it right because I do have to put uh, these parts go in here along this, and then I have to attach to them hoses. No, that goes lower than that. That goes lower. These parts go. No, they go there, right? Hmm. Oh no, that's the other side. Okay, that's the other side. Great. Great, 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 great. I turn this around and put that on the other side here. Great, 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 great. Yeah, I don't know what any of these are. Uh, yeah, I mean, look. Also, the thing about Unplugged is a lot of people don't go to Unplugged. That this wasn't the con for them because it is tabletop focused, and that's not what they're there for. So, games journalists that I know, unless they also cover tabletop stuff, don't normally go. Now, New York people certainly have gone in the past because it's not that far away. So it is an easy. Sometimes it is a fine choice to go. So I have had New York people be like, "Yeah, I'll be there." That are New York journalists, but um, it already is a little harder. I used to be able to count on my fine friends at Loading Ready Run, but they're not ready to go to cons yet in the U.S. It doesn't appear, so which is fine. That's totally fine. It's okay that they're like, we're not going yet. We're not ready. Also, if they do go, I'm sure their first convention will be a Magic the Gathering convention because that does well for them. Or it could be a PAX. Maybe PAX East they'll go next year. I don't know. I mean, the one panel I want to do, my ranking of uh, anime titles that feature um, tabletop and card games. That one I don't really need a guest for because I can just do more audience interaction. But if I can get a good guest for it, I will. Because it'll be fun. It'd be more fun to have somebody. Even just somebody for me to pitch. Like, hey, here's what this show is about. And hear their actual reactions to it. That could be fun. But yeah, I am excited about the going there. I just got more in the mail, some new face masks that I am saving just for that. I mean, they're just black face masks with adjustable straps on the ears, and they're full. They're extra larges, so they definitely cover my big face, which is great, and my full beard. So it's not like digging in like here or something. All right, so we're going to let that dry there, and we'll work on the other side here. Again, I can't really say like specifics when it comes to this because I don't know them. Like I don't have specifics to tell you about this. Like, hey, this is where the belt is. Those are hoses. Like that's what I've got for you. I don't know car stuff. I'll do my best, but yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, I think there's a belt here. Cool. I think this is exhaust. Great. Let's see. Other stuff. Yeah, I got pack stuff. Other things I want to talk about. I mean, it's just like there's not a lot. I don't have a lot going on with me. It's like the truth. I just don't have a whole lot of things and things. Ooh, is there more chrome here? No, not chrome yet. This here? No. Yeah. Over here, great. I didn't think there'd be any chrome parts on here. Let's see. Last night played. Had a great time playing some Pokemon Fire Red randomizer. It was a good time last night. Thank you for folks that were there, including people that came in a raid. I do sometimes feel bad when raids happen from Gunplug or like Plamo people because I'm like, oh no, y'all came when I'm not building anything. But whatever. That's what Wednesdays are for hanging out and playing a game. Bald Ridge cheered 69 bits. Thank you so much for the nice amount of bits. Welcome to the bit leaderboard. Thank you for that. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego site emote. Thank you for that. And you said, gas. Gonna step on the gas. Tonight I'll fly and be your lover. Yeah. I'll be so quick as a flash and I'll be your hero. Well, the only thing I can say to that is Tokyo is on fire. Got to name some secret Pokemon no one will ever see. Yes, indeed. There was a Pokemon that I caught that will never appear and no one will see them unless you were there. And even then. But yeah, we caught some Pokemon last night. That was very fun. And we got red. Hey, our Ho-Oh learned to move. It can actually do an offensive move, which is great. The fact that our Ho-Oh can now do anything in the game is lovely. That is a lovely surprise that our Ho-Oh is somewhat useful now. All right, so let's apply some liquid cement. And then we will put this on here. Line this up right, yeah. And then even pressure, applying even pressure to get this going. But yeah, last night was fun. I had a good time doing that, and then today, yeah, had kind of an eventful day. In the background of doing chores and doing some project work and getting my PowerPoint slide ready of the next 15 days of my schedule or 16 days of my schedule, because tomorrow I'll put up a new streaming schedule for the rest of the month. I also had a thing where my D&D group is just constantly we've got, it's not a problem. But it is a situation where we've got two people that want to switch when we meet, and we've got two people that don't want to switch when we meet. And we've got one person that is fine with switching as long as we all agree and we also don't switch again for a while, because I have the most flexible fucking schedule, but also I have to plan things around it. And if we're gonna, my one thing is that like there's like 6 hours a week, where sorry, 8 hours a week, actually 6 hours a week of building and then 2 hours of game where I don't want to do other things. So we better fucking come to a conclusion about this. You may have been able to guess from that I'm the person who has a flexible schedule that doesn't mind if we switch days, but I need to fucking know if we're going to switch days or not. That's me. I'm that person. I just want to fucking know. Right now, has not been decided if we're switching days or not. And it's driving me a little batty, because it's just so many emails of just like, well, hey, but these days will be better and this thing will be better. And what about this time? And it's, it's 5 people, which is not too many people, but it is still a good amount of people arguing about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So it is frustrating, because I would just like for us to either keep the day or switch. And it's also like, let me know if you've had this experience before. We're not even talking about, hey, instead of when we meet, could we meet at another time? That's what we're doing. It's not, hey, instead of meeting now, could we meet and then suggest a time? It is, can we change when we meet to a different thing? We have not agreed upon when that will be or what that exactly is. So it's not even the like, let's change. It's, hey, what do you think about the idea of changing at some point? And that is very frustrating to me. Always love that maybe things will change, so if you have to worry about it until something happens, move. Yeah. I mean, that's like my thing. It's just like, look, if one of our members was like, I absolutely cannot meet anymore on Saturday afternoons. If one of our group members was like that, then we have to make the decision, okay, are we going to stop meeting on Saturday afternoons and find another time that we can all work, or is that person going to bow out of the crew? Because this D&D crew, it's not a thing that we're recording, it's not a live stream, it's just a friend's game. So we could make the shitty, not fun decision, but the adult, reasonable decision of going, okay, we're moving on. So I'm sorry, we'll move on without you, because this is the best time for everybody. When your schedule changes, if it does, and you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. That's a shit move. I don't love that move, but we could make that move. Ooh, I had some connectivity issues there, but it looks like we're okay. Just a little blip. I don't love that move, but we'll make that move. My hope is that is not the case, and that instead, like right now, we're just like, a couple people are like, hey, I kind of want my Saturdays back. And like, yeah, I get that. But I'd also rather play than not play. So I don't know. It's up in the air. But it's just like, honestly, it's almost a little refreshing, because it's been a while since I've had like really long email chains that don't mean anything and are just really annoying. It's been a hot minute since I've been on one of those, because one of the benefits of contract work is I usually don't get attached to long, weird email threads that I don't want to be on anymore. That doesn't really happen when you're just getting assigned something and you either say yes or no, or ask follow-up questions, or maybe check in with it. Like, most of the time, the work I'm doing these days is just like, hey, we want you to do this thing. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Here, I did it. And maybe there's also a like, hey, actually, could you get that done like a little sooner? Or, hey, actually, we don't need that as fast as we thought we did, so you've got like 4 more days to work on this. Like a couple maybe follow-up emails, but never anything like too long and too frustrating. Okay, this is popping back off here, so I gotta. There's some overhang here that I gotta trim off before I glue this back on. some nubbins that are causing this to not be flush. And I need this to be flush. It's going to go on this side. We are just going to go ahead and apply a little bit more liquid cement here. And we'll just extend it out a little bit. Overdo it a hair. There we go. And then just put some pressure on it. Oops, this is coming off too. Great. I'm going to reapply that in just a moment. This will be like one of those things where like this is going to dry and it's fine. And not theoretically, I should probably be giving this more time for each individual step. But because of the small piece, I've been kind of like going faster than I probably need to on this. But once the engine's done, first of all, I think I said this already, we're never going to see this. This engine, we're not going to see. We're building it, and then it's going to be in the car. And maybe I'll open the hood to look at it now and again, but I don't expect to see it too often. All right, so now we're just going to let this sit here. But yeah, that has been kind of the benefit of what I've been doing lately is I don't get jobs. I just don't get like long email correspondence about things I don't care about. Most of the time, almost exclusively, the things that I'm getting are things that are relevant to what I'm working on, which is nice. And one company that I work for, I don't want to say a job because I do various jobs for them. One company that I've been working for freelance for a long time, they have started to invite me to things. During the pandemic, I got an email which was very sweet saying, "Hey Pat, we know you're freelance with us, and you've never actually even been in the office, so work for home is not something you have to adjust to. But we wanted to know, would you like to be on emails for our Zoom hangouts, like everybody getting their own drink and kind of chatting and seeing what's up?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can email those. Those aren't like mandatory, right?" They're like, "No, sometimes we have like 2 people, sometimes we have like 12 people, so you can come in if you want." And I was like, "Yeah, invite me to those." I have been to one of those, and since half the employees are still work from home, they have continued. And yeah, I went to one, and that was fine. I don't drink, and I only know a couple people there, and the people I knew weren't at the hangout that I went to, which is also my fear in real life. That is my fear literally all the time, that I will be invited to a thing and go as feeling like I'm obligated and then not know anyone and have to make small talk. I did talk to somebody in payroll who was like, "Hey, now I can put your name to a face. That's great." And I was like, "Awesome. Pay me on time, because sometimes you don't." I didn't say it like that. I said something similar to that, but not directly, not that harshly and not that directly. But I did jokingly. I was just like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, when you see my name, make sure that the direct deposit happens." All right, so one of these things is going to go here and one's going to go there, so it's going to line up. We're just going to do a test fit first. Okay. So I don't know how this goes on. Let's see. Other things I want to chat about. Yeah, I've got good work lined up. Oh, so I saw this on my Discord, and I've seen this in other places as well. So I figured I would chat about it. This bullshit. Uh, I haven't received in the mail yet the Gundam Barbatos or the Gundam Live Lance, and they're starting to show up in store shelves now. To be fair, not fair. USA Gundam stores said that they would be shipping the Live Lance Heaven in November, and they said October for the Gundam Barbatos. So they don't have to send it to me when they've shown up in stores. But it is frustrating that I pre-ordered these things, and then I could just go to a store and get them. That's a bummer, especially considering the fact that, hey, did I save a couple bucks by pre-ordering? Sure. But didn't I spend money on shipping and have to do, and I did them on, uh, uh, and did I have to do it separately? Because if I didn't do it separately and just did one order, then I wouldn't get both of them until they had both of them and mailed them out to me in once in November. So I wouldn't even there wouldn't be the possibility of me getting the Barbatos, I should say, Barbatos in October. So I didn't save any money. Uh, uh, yeah, and supposedly, Lord Crescent asked, the Millennium Puzzle is supposedly coming out this month. I also have that pre-order that was originally an August release, and then they were like, it's been slipped to September, and then I guess it's not September anymore, so I guess you're not getting it, Pat. So we're going to update it to October. We're going to wait until October 1st to update it on our site to say October. Yeah, and sure, Target's probably getting more of them USA Gundam Store is, and maybe they're even getting them earlier than USA Gundam Store is. I'm just annoyed that I don't get my thing, that I paid money for my thing, and I want my thing. I want these model kits. I'm being grumpy. I know I'm just being grumpy, but I want my model kits. Tomorrow, I'll put out a mailbag video about a model kit I got in the mail from my Amazon wish list, thanks to a one Razgriz 2. Razgriz 2 buying a model kit off my wish list and sending it to me. Of course, my $5 and $10 patrons over on patreon.com/PatBear, they got those already. Okay, so our engine is done. So we can take our engine and we can put it in here. And then we can also put this, and we do have to attach another part to this first and glue that, and then that's going to get attached to our engine. So that's going to go in like somewhere, and then that's going to go somewhere. All right, let's give this some time to dry. Let's get the pieces that we're going to need, because we do need a couple more pieces that are going to be part of this. And then we can get started on setting it and figuring out the order to put these in. Because the other two components I might be able to do earlier than this. Because I do want to give the engine time to dry out. If I remember correctly, the last time I did a kit like this, this was sometimes a little infuriating. But we need 114. Anyway, yeah, look, my backlog is fine. I've got 2 high grades, a master grade, a Lego set in the mail that I purchased. I'm going to be purchasing something else off my wish list for myself, probably another high grade. Theoretically, I'm getting a high grade and the Millennium Puzzle this month, although who knows. One stream this month, which is Monday. Let me check the date here. Yeah, Monday, the 25th. Is that when I decided I was going to do it? Actually, hold on. When did I decide I was going to do this? Let me actually look up this date. I think it's the 25th I decided I was going to do it. Build with Baer, October 2. Let's look up this date. Oh, no, it's the 18th. I'm doing it on the 18th. So next Monday. Next Monday is my pumpkin carving stream. That's right. I'm doing it on the 18th so that I have some time of it. I have 2 weeks of it being a jack-o'-lantern. So the 18th is my pumpkin carving stream. That's right. And then the 31st, I'll pause whatever I'm doing, or the 30th, right? Let me double check. Yes, the 30th, I'll pause whatever I'm doing, put together a little fun little Lego set that will take up a portion of the stream, but not all the stream. And then I'll go back to whatever we were doing. Just kind of celebrate a little Halloween-y there. 101 is this one. Great. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to do my pumpkin carving stream on the 18th because I want to have my pumpkin out there. It's going to be in the backyard for a while because it's still warm. And if I put out a carved pumpkin on the 18th, it will definitely start rotting out there. So that is not the plan, because he is just too warm around here. If I was back in Connecticut, I would have had it out for a while. All right, so this is going to go on here. I'm just basically now going to do the parts that I can just do now that don't involve the engine and won't cover the engine because I'm giving the engine plenty of time to dry. Okay. But this is going to go on here. We'll just do a couple dabs, of our liquid cement. And then place that on here. And then we're going to hold it. And we're going to, as we do this, we're trying not to touch anything that would cause anything to like separate or break. Lord Crashes says, I'm surprised how many people I've seen buy pumpkins in September, but I guess they keep it in a basement fridge or whatever. Yeah, so I bought mine towards the end of September, and we keep it in a cool corner of our kitchen because it was very inexpensive to buy it then. But yeah, there are people in parts of the country here, or in the world, I should say, but so, you know, that they don't have to worry about dealing with it being super hot at this time of year, so they can just get whenever they want. All right, so this is going to goes like this. Okay, that goes like that. Great. Apply some liquid cement here. The hole is. And then when we finish the engine, I'm going to have to really try to clean up my hands a little bit because I'm going to be dealing with the inside windscreen. So I got to make sure I do that right. Because that is clear plastic. And if I get my fingerprints on it that has liquid cement on it, then I will leave fingerprints on that plastic. And I don't want to do that on the clear. There it is. All right, so then we'll just put a little pressure on here. Let this dry there. Peel off the seal you want to use in the sheet and place it according to the guide on the window part. Make sure to place the seal firmly, otherwise paint will seep under the masking seal. Paint the window part with black paint from the inside. Wait the paint to dry, then peel off the masking seal. Okay. This is telling me that what to do if I wanted to paint, because so you can see in the car here, if you look at the photo, it's two-tone, right? We're not getting that. We're not going to get that two-tone. We're going to do the black hood and the black accessories on this, but we're not getting that because we would have to mask and then paint, and we're just not going to do that because I'm not painting. So it's just tips on how to mask, like how to tape off the sections if I'm going to paint like stuff black or do trim work or anything like that. It's nice information that's included in here. It doesn't serve us because I'm not doing that shit. All right, let's drop our engine in. And by drop our engine, I mean let's put some liquid cement on this and place it. So we're going to figure out where it wants to go and do that. Dirty says, oh, that's definitely not here past a month or so. Today's supposedly the last day in the 80s for the year. Oh, there you go. And then Dirty says, you're talking about your wish list has me go review what I had on mine, and I just noticed that a book I put on my wish list when it was only 30 cents now goes for $94 or $30. Sorry, not 30 cents. $30 now goes for $94. That's a lot. That is a jump. Yeah, I mean, so my private wish list, like I don't keep track of, and sometimes I look on there and go, that's mostly just like, hey, this is better than bookmarking. But my hey, buy these for me. I try to keep track of that, and yeah, sometimes stuff that's on there jumps up in price, and then I just take it off, and I'm like, I'll find this again if it goes reasonable, or I'll hide it so that y'all don't have to so that I'm not asking y'all to buy me a Lego set that cost $150 that used to be $45. I'm not asking for that. Try not to. Yeah, a hardcover of the Adventures of the Princess and Mr. Whiffle is getting up there. Okay. I hear you. Sometimes things jump in price, and you're like, no thanks. I actually don't want. I honestly don't want someone to spend that much money. Like for me, it's like, hey, a master grade that came out in like 2009. Yeah, that's gonna be pricey right now. Like, I'm sorry, it is, and thank you if someone wants to buy that for me. Like that rules that someone would think of me that like and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. But like, yeah, if it's like a Lego set that is just jumped in price, I'm like, no, 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 no. Okay, so this has got to go somewhere, which is great for me to say. All right, so there's two parts here, and this goes like this. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to connect those two. So let's just get this in first. I don't know if I'm doing this the right order or not. Don't right care. Let's get this set up here. Little liquid cement goes a long way. Don't have to overdo it. It's not like thermal paste where you really want to put a lot on there. Or not a lot, or just the right amount, which is different from everybody. Don't ask me how much thermal paste is the right amount of thermal paste, because I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'm not an expert. And also the experts disagree. Yeah, I'm terrible at leaving things on my Amazon wish list until they go out of print. Yeah, out of print, or just they're very hard to find, or like they're just like not a thing that anybody is like searching for actively anymore. Nobody's selling it, and so it goes like now it's just like used. All right, we gotta let this really dry here before we try to. Actually, are we even gonna connect this? We might not. I might just connect one part of this hose and just lay it wherever it goes because I should have done that. I actually can do that. I can just remove it and glue this here. I could just do that. Yeah, I could just put this on here and then just shove it wherever because who cares? Or, hear me out, who cares? I don't need this hose. I'm going to apply this. I'm going to make it look great. That hose is a tiny little piece. I don't know how it's going to fit in together. Who cares? In fact, who cares? We're going to get this lined up right. We're going to glue it. We're going to apply we're going to put these in the right holes. We're going to make sure that it is in there. We're going to let it sit. I don't need that connector. That connector is weird. I don't care about it. I don't know if that's ever going to work. I'm fine with it. We got more. We have so many more parts of this engine to put in. Jesus. All right, let's start getting all this fucking shit together. Figure out all this stuff that's got to go on here. Like, say, the Cowboy Bebop movie on Blu-ray is the most recent example. Okay, yeah, I'm sure that might have jumped up in price at some point, and you didn't pay attention to that. All right, let's get all these components out. We got to get the battery in. We got some other stuff that has to go places to connect segments and lock things in place. I'm going to get all these pieces out, see how they fit, and then we'll go there. We will take a pause with the calls in a bit, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. You knew that was coming. You knew I was going to say that at some point because I got it. All right, we got the battery at some point. That is 115. We got our battery. Line up the car like how they want it. Battery is going to go here. And then we got another thing that I don't know anything about. I don't know what that is. Put that there. It sure would have been nice if Amazon sent you emails about price changes on your wish list like Steam does every day. That is, yeah, it is nice, but yeah, they don't do that. You could opt out of it. It could be an option. That That sounds like the Blu-ray of the complete series of Sequest DSV that's been sitting on my list for a while. Dirty, you just made me think of that show, which I have not thought of in a while, so thank you, because it has been a hot minute since I've had any thoughts about that undersea adventure series that also had an intelligent dolphin character somehow. For some reason. 103 is not a piece we need. Put that aside. We need 105 here. I have not thought of Sequest in quite some time. Underwater shenanigans. Did I go to a bar mitzvah that was Sequest themed? Yes, I did. Was there a lot of stuff for a bar mitzvah that was that you could find official for the show? No. So it was mostly just aquatic underwater stuff. With a very, very nerdy boy who was very happy. He was very pleased with his. I've only been to a few bar mitzvahs. I've never been to a bat mitzvah, but I've only been to a few bar mitzvahs, and that was the best one because it was somehow Sequest themed. It was very good. There's a little nubbin on this. Oh no, okay, so that was like, why doesn't this nubbin want to come off? Because it's not a nubbin. It's supposed to be there. So this is going to go into that. I got to glue those two pieces together. When that's glued together, I have one more part on here that I have to get, which is 130, which is not on here. 130 is on here. Nope, that's not 130. 30 is here. Great. I now believe I have all the components that I need for this to put everything on here. We'll do that in a moment. I want to say that this is probably the last thing I put on because it will be less annoying than the rest. Yeah, so a couple minutes, we'll take a pause for the calls, talk ways you can support the channel. We will get into some anime and some manga. I'm going to rant a bit and kind of explain what the fuck is happening with a certain show that I can't believe it is happening in the anime section, and why I'm done with this shit. Because no, I'm good. All right. All right, so we're going to put that together there. And then this goes here, like that. That's going to go like that. I wish they said like what order to do these in. I think this is going to go last because it'll go on top of a bunch of things, but let's do the battery. Do the battery first. And then we'll do everything else. I know they'll last, so. There. I just remembered watching Sequest late at night on my grandpa's big screen right after watching American Gladiators. Hell yeah. That is a great double bill. American Gladiators and Sequest. I have no idea if Sequest holds up. I bet it doesn't. It was fine at the time, but it wasn't like it was a revolutionary, amazing thing. It was just kind of cool because it was like, no, we're not going to space. We're going underwater. That's where that's going to be the cool shit, is underwater. And they were right. It was cool shit. But it was interesting that they were like, no, this isn't a space show. It's an underwater adventure show. You're going to love it. And some people fucking did. They thought that they were watching a very good show. They were very pleased with their choice. All right, so we're going to do this. Oh no, my tire fell off from doing putting all this pressure on this without picking it up. So I got to put a tire back on. Our first piece that was supposed to be on that fell off is a tire. Is a bummer. Gotta get this on first. Next. I just said on first next. So that's great. That makes a lot of sense, Pat. Good job. Good job, Pat. Okay, that goes in there. Yeah, our tire came off, so that's fun. Then I'll try to put this tire back on. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that's in deep water. The ocean scares me more than space. No, I get it. I hear you. Michael Ironsides was also on Sequest for a stint. Yes, true. No, I get what you're saying. It can be a pretty damn frightening. But it was just like a kind of interesting idea to be like, yeah, no. We're doing undersea shit. Space stuff, other people do that. We're not worrying about that stuff. Let the competition do that. We're fucking deep into the water is the real scary space. Why is this not working right? All right, I'm just gonna hold this tire here. I'm gonna hold this tire while we take a pause for the cause. I'm gonna retweet my tweet. We'll see if we can get a few more friends to come join us here. Oh, my anime stuff is getting a little nice bump there. That's nice. But yeah, we'll retweet my tweet. See if we can get a few more friends to come join us. Maybe. And then we'll take a pause for the cause. So hey everybody. Thanks so much for being here. If you're currently a subscriber, just like Dirty Dude, you can put the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the mode in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber. Subscribing is a great way to support what I do here on the old Build with Bear. I would really appreciate, love it if you could become a subscriber. If you can't, I understand. If you're not able, but it would be great if you did. Using your Prime Gaming token, if you have your Amazon Prime link with your Twitch, you can do that, or Cash Money, another way to support what I do. Subscribing is an easy way to support me. Aristofan just gifted 10 subs. That's 61 on the channel. Aristofan just made it. I'm gonna mute it so that, because there's gonna be a lot of the same sound. I'm gonna take these off here, and then I'm gonna read all of the names that Aristofan just gifted a sub to. The Jav 4, Animist, Bad at Video Games, Wildcard 39, Yin Dark, Lobot Go, Words Maybe, Rosevif, Lynn Phalins, and Mistress Rosa. Aristofan, thank you so much for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support. We just hit our goal of 50 subscribers because of the 10 gifted subs. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, hey, if you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and then then it'll charge you till your month is over. So your free month is over. So that's a great deal and something to consider. So consider doing that. What else? Okay. Other ways to support what I do. I'm going to talk about various ways you can support the channel. All of these are optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you'd like to, you're more than welcome to. Now, as I said, subscribing, easy, because you're doing through Twitch. You're already there. Get in there, become a subscriber. Another way to subscribe to what I do here is to join the Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Join the Patreon, $1, $3, $5, $10 tiers. So if $5 a month here on Twitch doesn't work for you, there are other tiers that might be more interesting to you over on Patreon. Do you have to do that? Of course not. Would I like it if you did? Sure, that would be great. There are different rewards for different tiers, so consider coming back. All right, we can go back to that now that we've got there. Other things I should tell you about. YouTube. I got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. You could jump over there if you wanted to. And you could subscribe which is free, or you could join, which costs $2 a month, and you get my Wednesday videos. You get those on Tuesday. There's a little something I could do for you. But you know, if that's another option, if you're like, yeah, I got money already in that, and I'll tie to that, and I'll just use that there, like that would be great. Also, direct donations, always appreciate it. If monthly is not something that you're interested in, you want to do a one-time, there are various ways to do that. And everything I make through direct donations through AdSense and memberships on YouTube, through Patreon, through Twitch, all of that goes back into the business of model kits. So I buy more model kits and equipment necessary to build more things, and then I make more. And that's what happens. I'm now applying more liquid cement because I'm trying to reapply this tire here while we hang out, because it is not, because this tire is not going back on. So I'm going to do that while we talk. But yeah, there are various ways to support here if that is something you would like to do, because I have to keep buying model kits to build model kits. I bought this. This was expensive. This Initial D car was pricey. I'm happy I got it because I don't do enough glue kits. I really like Initial D. It's fun to be able to talk about it. And also, it's a challenge. And sometimes master grades, even master grades, aren't really a challenge much anymore. Now, if you would like me, instead of building something from my backlog, you want to know exactly what I'm building next, well, you can buy something off my Amazon wish list, and then that jumps the queue. So next, I'm building a Gundam from Gundam Seed, a master grade from the year 2007 that was purchased off my Amazon wish list. But after that, I could build something that you bought from my wish list. So I got Lego sets on there. I've got high grades, master grades, inexpensive kits, way too expensive kits, all kinds of different things. It's like, who's going to spend $45 on the Charitium Gundam high grade? I don't know, maybe you. But if you buy that, come to me. I'll build it on stream. I really appreciate it. I got some equipment on the bottom that will be helpful for streams. This is stuff that you could buy if you wanted to. You don't have to. These are options. Also, another thing is if you want to buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, you go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card, they send you an email with the code. You then send me the code, and I will take that and I will buy something for USA Gundam Store. And it won't be a pre-order, because that way it actually arrives at a reasonable time frame, because I had some issues with that. So not doing that. Let's see, other things I need to tell you about. I got a Discord. It's free to join my Discord. If you want to jump into my old Discord, you could do that. Let me put the link there in the chat. Oh, also, if you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? You can find all the links in the show description below the video. What else? Before we get back into building, a couple videos for you to check out. You could check out Pat Bear's Anime Club. I made a video about dubs because it's a question that people often ask, and I often get this question asked to me, which is, hey, what dubs do you like? Because the dubs versus subs question is just like, watch whatever you want. But there are some dubs I do enjoy, and I talked about them there. Some that you would expect me to talk about, some you might not expect me to talk about. So that was fun. That's a fun little video. Also, Best of Build with Baer. This came from not yesterday, but the previous episode of my Pokemon Fire Red randomizer, where we interrupted a gentleman in his stateroom on a boat, and he was like, hey, what are you doing here? Gentleman Arthur, more characters should be as totally reasonable for him to be like, hey, what the fuck? So there's a clip of that. And then we're going to talk about some anime, and we're going to talk about some manga. So let's get into the anime talk. And let's go in here to anime. And we're going to jump to the second one, and I'm not even going to start building here. I'm going to take a minute, and I'm going to talk to you about this thing that happened here, okay? We're going to talk about Muv-Luv Alternative. Muv-Luv Alternative is an anime based on a visual novel. It's based on the third visual novel in a series of visual novels. The first visual novel is a dating thing. You're a dude, you got a girlfriend, then another girl shows up in your bed. You're in high school, it's wacky. Then, the second visual novel, take all those characters. You're the main dude. You wake up in an alternate reality to the one you had. There are monsters. There's mecha. It's a fight against aliens. It's brutal and sad. And all of the characters you knew in the first game are there, but they're slightly different and they don't remember you. And it's brutal and devastating. That's the second visual novel. The third visual novel is you wake up. You, the main character, wake up again for what happened to the second one, but you remember what happened because you've lived through it. So now, with those memories, you can relive the second game, but make choices and changes based on the information that you have. And sometimes you're unreliable because your memory is shot. This anime is based on the third visual novel. So it's complicated as fuck, right? Because it's saying, hey, you wake up in this weird world. You already remembered all of this. And your interactions with people, they're confused about your interactions because you remember them as the people you knew in your romantic comedy world. And it's fucking complicated, right? So how would you go about making sense for people that are like, Muv-Luv Alternative, I'll watch that anime, I watch anime, I like mecha, I don't read visual novels and play those games, I'll check this anime out. What do you think you should do to ease people into that? If you answered, have a tonal episode for episode 1 that introduces a bunch of characters who don't mean anything to the storyline, and then episode 2, have your main character wake up and have a monologue where they try to explain what's going on, then you're the people that created the anime adaptation of Muv-Luv Alternative, and you're a nightmare. This motherfucking show decided that to have an episode that was an event that doesn't happen in the visual novels, but is mentioned in the visual novels as a thing that will happen. As tone, just hey, check out these people die brutally. Anyway, here's our main character in episode 2. And the comments on Crunchyroll are people who are like, what the fuck is happening? And then other people being like, well, this is what's happening because in the visual novels, this, and this happened. So basically, people are doing the work that I'm doing right now to people who are like, what is this? And why does this anime even exist? If you didn't want to make the first one, you didn't want to make the second one, why make the third one? Why? Gotta do that cold start before rewinding back to what happened up to that point. So here's what you do, right? If you actually want to make this, you don't do alternative. You do unlimited, which is the one where the guy wakes up. So you have a guy wake up and he goes, this isn't my life. This isn't what's supposed to happen. And as he's trying to figure out what's happening, you flash back to moments from the first visual novel where it is a romantic comedy. Like, hey, here's a character. This is how I remember her. Oh, wait, that's not what she is in this world. The second one you want to adapt as anime. And yes, they did adapt some of it as an anime in the 90s, but that doesn't fucking count because it's 2021. I'm done ranting about Muv-Luv. I have one more thing to say about it from the episode, but I'm done talking about it until I do my wrap-up. Oops, sorry, that's not the right one. Until I do my wrap-up of the season, in which I will mention it again. Here's the only thing I liked about Muv-Luv Alternative this episode before I stop watching it is when he wakes up, he wonders if everything has been a dream. And not just, he doesn't immediately think, I've traveled back in time. He goes, Pat Rant, indeed. He wonders if the 3 years that he's experienced was a dream. And he tricks himself into thinking it must have been a dream because it being a dream makes more sense to him than it being time travel. Because time travel, why would it be time travel? Which is reasonable. It's reasonable for him to be like, this is This is probably like I had like a weird. I just ate something weird and had a bad dream, which makes a lot more sense. And then he is lifted with a cold reality, and he literally starts crying because he clearly has PTSD, and that's really fucking interesting. But they don't explore that because immediately he steps outside and sees the destruction laid waste, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm reliving, unlimited." He doesn't say that, but he's like, "Oh no, I traveled back in time 3 years." Uh, and yeah, I have thoughts. I literally can't believe they made this. Why would they spend so much money on this anime? Like, it doesn't make any sense to make this anime at all. Like, it just, to me anyway, makes no sense to create this, to spend money on this thing. Anyway, that's Muv-Luv Alternative. I'm not watching it anymore. I want to try to watch a mecha show this season. I'm going to give the one about the father and daughter who explore stuff a shot. For how much context needs to be added, it's wild. Yeah, Lashbrook, that's what I'm saying. Because, like, here's the thing. Even if you didn't want to search for context, and people will say, well, you know what, they're going to tell a great story and it doesn't matter. They still have to do, they still had to do a whole episode. They chose to make a whole episode that has nothing to do with the plot. That's just characters that don't matter. And then the second episode, which should be the first one, they also had to do a bunch of explanation of what's going on. And be like, what's alternate 5? Well, alternative 5 is they send a select group of humans out to space. And then the rest of the planet is just waiting there to die. And so he's like, I can't let alternative 5 happen. And it's like, that took so long to explain what happened there. This is why is this happening? It's just so bonkers. All of it is bonkers. It is unbelievable that any of this thing is happening. It's so wild. Anyway, that's Muv-Luv Alternative. Now to talk about a show that I am. Am I enjoying The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat? I don't know if I'm enjoying The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat. I'd like to enjoy The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat, but there's a couple things holding me back from really loving The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat. The main thing that's holding me back from loving that is that one of the characters they introduced at the end of the episode has a really annoying voice, and I'm really hoping that her voice changes when she ages up because she's a young person. And I'm hoping that, because I know there's a time dash coming, and I'm really hoping that the time dash um, makes it so that she's a less of an annoying character. Dia. I don't like Dia's voice. Anyway, what's up with The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat? So episode 1 was how about this dude being a great assassin, and then he got murked, and he's dead. And now he's like, well, I'm dead. I'd like to... and how there's a goddess that's just like, hey, what's up? I need you to kill a guy, and I'll let you be reincarnated, but keep your memories. And he's like, huh. Yeah, I'll do that. So here's what we know. We know that in 16 years from when our character is going to be born, our main guy is going to be reborn into this world of magic. 16 years after he's reborn, the hero is going to defeat the Demon Lord. And then 2 years later, he will plunge the hero, after defeating the Demon Lord, will plunge the world into darkness and eventually destroy this world. So, our dude, his job, if he chooses to accept it, is to be reincarnated, to get strong enough and skilled enough to kill the hero. And then, but he can't kill the hero until the hero defeats the Demon Lord, or the Demon King, or whatever. He's got to do that after. So he basically has like 16 years to get strong, wait until the demon lord is defeated, and then peace out and bounce. And he can't do that any sooner than that because it'll fuck everything up. So it's a lot of pressure. So it's him like picking his skills because he can get 5 skills, and there's this whole little thing where he's like picking like regeneration and all kinds of stuff. He's picking like skills that will complement one another really well and make his life easier so that he can defeat this hero in the future. And the hero will have like 30 skills eventually. The hero is going to have a huge advantage over our dude vis-a-vis being real strong. So it's going to be hard for our guy. But yeah, he gets a bunch of skills. Also, hey, this is a good cheat for him. He's being reincarnated as the son of a family of secret assassins. So he's going to be trained by his assassin father in being a magical assassin. So that's a real good boost for our dude. That he will have that kind of tutoring. All right, so I'm applying this here, and my goal is to apply this without getting any liquid cement on the clear plastic that is showing. So I am just applying it in various places and trying not to get it on anything where it will show and look bad. So we're trying to be very careful. And again, I am trying to apply this in a way that I do not get my fingers on it as well. Anyway, his name is Lugh, L-U-G-H. One thing he's like, there's a cool moment in this episode, like an actual cool moment in this, by the numbers, not particularly that fantastic, isekai. There's a very cool moment where our dude, the old man that we knew, his voice actor, and the voice actor that plays the young version of our reborn character, they speak the same lines of dialogue, and like it's like a crossfade of like one guy talking, the other person talking, and then it kind of shifts as basically we go from this old man to this new man. And I thought that was very fucking cool. I thought that was actually pretty rad to make that shift. I thought that was neat. All right, then I got to put the 43, which is the 43 is going to be here. No, that's where's 43? Here's 43. Okay. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then let's see what else happens. All right. So he's learning to be an assassin. He doesn't have the ability to do mana. He's 7 years old. So he doesn't have magic, but he's been doing a lot of training. Also, he has a nice relationship with his parents, which he never had because he was raised by an organization in his previous life to be an assassin. So he's having like a nice time with his parents, and he is pleasantly surprised that he gets to do that. And that is a thing. Like, he's just like, the warmth of them is nice, and he is enjoying that little bit of business, that part of his life, which is kind of sweet. I mean, he is being raised to be an assassin. Also, he gets a surgery so that his eyes can see great distances and can read mana, which is not a thing that he has a skill for, but there is a secret surgery because his family, his bloodline, they are, on the outside, they're a family of doctors, but on the inside, they are assassins. They're secret assassins for the government. Yeah, I mean, the whole plot of this, of like him being raised to become, him having like less than 18 years, between 16 and 18 years, he has to go kill a hero. Like, things aren't going to work out great for our main character, probably. Anyway, a really weird thing happens where a character is going to show up, and then they're like, you got to get dressed up for your tutor. And then his mom puts him in a dress, which is only weird because he is clearly uncomfortable with it. and confused by it. Because she made him a dress. He's cute, but it's weird. And you get the sense that, like, things aren't 100% right with anybody in this world, which is fine, but it is weird. There's some genuine weirdness going on with this particular family, which makes sense because family, raised to be a murderer, all that stuff. It's a weird thing. Anyway, yeah, and then the character that we meet at the end of the episode, Dia, who is a young lady who's going to instruct him on using magic. Her voice is very annoying, and I really, really fucking hope that her voice changes. That is my hope, is that her voice quickly changes. I don't like it. All right, so we got to build our dash here. Working on our dash, we got to put our steering wheel together, do all these components. We're basically building components here to then assemble components together, which is neat. I got one more anime to talk to you about, and then we'll jump to some manga. And so I want to talk about. This is what I was saying this was my most anticipated show this season, and I don't think it's my favorite right now because what happened in this episode, which is the animation quality in Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. The animation quality took a big old nosedive, especially the animation around some of the characters when they're talking to one another. When all they're doing is talking, some of the animation in Banished from the Hero's Party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, was real fucking bad. It was real all over the place. And I hope that is a one-off and that it gets better and keeps its quality because, yikes, it was not good in this episode, which was bad because the story is really fun. I really like this manga. I haven't read the light novel, but I do enjoy the manga. So I was like, oh no, I hope this gets better. Anyway, what's going on with this thing? This is a story about a dude who was part of the Hero's Party. He was convinced that he needed to quit it. So he was like, well, I'm going to stop being an adventurer. I'm going to just work a job. I'm going to open up a apothecary in a small area. Turns out that apothecary sales are low because, he's actually not that great of a businessman. He makes good potions, but maybe not everybody's going to need them. So he's not doing particularly as great as he would like. But we do meet a character who appeared at the end of the first episode, and her name is Rit. Red and Rit. Ooh, why does that sound like something? Well, that's because, turns out, they know each other. Red's in trouble. He's got stage 5 clinger. Yeah. So here's the thing. When Gideon, which is his regular original name, when he needed to come up with a fake name to register as an adventurer, he went with the name Rit because it was kind of a play on Red. He went with Red because it's a play on Rit, which Rit finds adorable. There's a lot of them just openly flirting with one another because we find the story, there's a whole thing. They work together for a bit. She's a prince. There's a lot of backstory. She's a princess, but she doesn't have any rights to the crown because she's a great adventurer, and because there was this epic battle that she took part in. There are some people around her that are like, you should be the king or the next, the queen, and she's like, no. So she's like, I'm going to take a leave of absence until this gets settled because I don't want my brother to think that I am out for the throne. So she kind of disappears for a while so that he can just do his thing. And then she's tracked him down. In the past, they weren't part of the same party, but she did work together with them for a bit, and he, at several occasions, really put a strong impact on her when she was like younger and very tsundere and not in her feet, not able to express herself her feelings, which he like acknowledged because, you know, at the time she wasn't, she was just like not uh, ready to be like engaging with him philosophically on anything. All right, so we have two things we can put over here, two different things. We're going to put the cup holder with the cup in it, which is number 132. The cup holder and the cup in it is a reference to Initial D. This is the cup with water in it that he would make sure wasn't splashing, that he was doing a smooth ride, because that would imply as long as that was good, then the tofu was going to be good. So the tofu wasn't sliding around. So we are going to attach that onto here. And that is, that is like the aftermarket part of this car, which is a cool thing that we get to put on here. We're going to attach that. Anyway, she's back. She's like, hey, I'm hiding out. I want to work here. And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, how about you let me work here? And he's like, hey, you have to go, you know, do you really want to close the store every time you want to get more herbs? And he's like, I don't. She's like, okay, well then let me work here. And eventually he's like, I mean, all right, I can't pay you a lot, but sure. She's like, great. And I can use item storage, so I've got my furniture. I'm gonna need another bed, bring in a new bed, and I'll pay for there to be a bathtub. And he's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh yeah, because I'm gonna live here. So she's moving in. And to which I say, yeah, you definitely got to do that, girl. If you are here to get some romance together with the dude that like you've had a crush on for a long time, now that he's not part of the heroes party and he's not focused solely on taking care of his little sister, who is deranged, you know, broken, then yeah, you gotta make the move while you can. So good on you. Okay, and then we cut to the heroes party, which we check in now and again, but we haven't checked in with a little while. We now have a member of, we now have a new member of the party, and her name is, I didn't write her name down. Anyway, she's an assassin. She's going to be a new member. People don't seem to be too psyched about her being there. But I'm bearing the lead because we were introduced to the best new character in the show, the mascot for the show, best new character of the season. Dirty's already mentioned in there. We got a new mascot. It is our assassin has a pet, because she is definitely young, has a pet spider, and his name is Mr. Crawly Wally. Mr. Crawly Wally. Also, Mr. Crawly Wally has a couple hands that come up to wave hello. Oh, I want to take this off. I'm sorry. I should have taken this off because we hit our 50. Mr. Crawly Wally fucking rules. Mr. Crawly Wally is the best. I keep saying Mr. Crawly Wally. I won't stop saying Mr. Crawly Wally because it's the fucking best thing in the world. That is the name of this character. This character is named Mr. Crawly Wally. I love him so much. He's the best. And then the hero is just like, yeah, just so you know, the deal is you answer to me, you work for me. And she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Because, you know, our girl is definitely going through something right now. Just seat position when installing the driver figure. Oh, that's where we can put the driver figure. So we have two of these seats. Because if we were just doing a regular AE86, we would just put in these. But because we're doing the Initial D, we have a separate, different seat that we can put in. Because we have to have the driver's seat. So we'll do one of one and one of the other. We'll do like the passenger seat, and we'll do the special driving seat. which is fun. Anyway, I want Mr. Crawley Wally to quit the Heroes Party and move in with Written Red, because that's clearly the best character in the show. I will hear no other options. Clearly, the best character is Mr. Crawley Wally. Unbelievably brilliant, wonderful. Anyway, that's all the anime I'm watching. Like I said, the animation quality took a big dip, and I wasn't thrilled with it. And I hope that it picks up. I believe this is a 13-episode season, so I am hoping that the animation quality improves, because I did not like what was happening there. So hopefully it'll get better. But I really liked the manga for this, so I am hoping to really like the anime adaptation. All right, and we need 46. Great. Let's see. Anything else I want to tell you about? Oh, manga. We can talk about some manga. Bear's Manga Club. I'm reading a couple things. I don't have a lot to say about them. Here's the manga I want to read, or that I've been reading. Frontier Diary. Definitely not going to keep reading this. There's some chapters of this that I could read if I wanted to, but I'm definitely not going to because it was not my favorite thing. The premise, this is not a reincarnation. It's a fantasy series, but it is not a reincarnation story. None of that. This is the son of a noble who hates, basically hates being a noble, hates all the people involved in them because they are... they treat them humans poorly, and they're garbage people. And he's like trying to stop it, and he's like, finally, he's like, I'm out of here, I'm done. Well, he can't live in the city he lived in anymore, and he can't work the job he worked because he was, a magic teacher at some particular academy or whatever. So his mate is like, I quit too, I'm coming with you, and his coworker is like, I'm out too. I'll go with you. We can go. And they try to go where she's from, but they can't take him in because of the country that he's from and all this other stuff. So eventually they end up taking over an abandoned city. And they're going to have people come in and they're trying to help people. And it's going to be a whole thing. And the major elements of this are, hey, check out this human who's weird. This human is surprisingly nice to the Beastmen. Oh, this human is really nice to this race and the demons and all this other stuff. And it's got a lot of like white savior vibes. It's really got a lot of like, oh, well, this human's different than the other humans. This is a good human. And this human's like gonna change things. So I was just like, I don't like this. It felt very gross. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that was the vibes I got. The vibes were telling me, hey, this isn't going to be a good show or a good series. You're not going to really love this. So I'm moving on to different things. Yes, Mistress Rosa. This is the Initial D car. To celebrate the anniversary of Initial D, this was re-released in Japan. And then I picked this up from Gundam Planet. This is the 124 scale AE86. It would require some paint, which unfortunately I'm not going to be doing. So we won't get the full two-tone that you can see in the there in the photograph there, the rendering. So we won't get the full two-tone, but we will modify it. We're going to put like a bunch of like a black hood, and the covers for the lights, we're going to use black. So we will be able to mix this up a little bit because it's got some touches. And also, he would do better with paint, but we do have Takumi. So we do have our driver, which I guess I could glue in. I probably should glue him into the seat. But we do have our driver. I'm going to wait because I got to put the e-brake and the shifter in. But yeah, we do have our friend Takumi over here, who is just crying out for paint, which he will not get. What other manga have I been reading? I've been reading The Girl Who Always Wears Gloves, which is it's a bunch of short chapters. It's pretty good. It is it is a little bit fantasy, but is mostly reality. The weirdness of this one is the premise of this one. She always wears gloves because this young lady, if she touches you, uh, you have to then touch her every day, or something random and weird will happen to you. So you have to constantly touch her every day, or misfortune will fall you. Um, so she wears gloves, and one day a dude is just like, "Hey, why do you wear gloves all the time?" She's like, "This is why. So if you don't want to talk to me anymore, I understand." And he's like, "Okay," and just touches her. And then he's like, "All right, I'll keep touching you every day." And so they go out, and there's like one thing where at a certain point he's like, uh, they kind of reference it that like there's a day where they're away because of vacation, and he has like some misfortune and like some accidents happen, but he's for the most part just like, yeah, it's not a big deal. And they don't really get into it too much of like what his deal is, or like why he's okay with it with the curse. Um, it's fine. It's pretty cute. It's not. I wouldn't call it like great, but it's good. I would say it's solid good. I almost glued Takumi into the wrong seat because he would be driving on the right side because it's Japan, and also this is the custom seat, not the seat that comes with it. What am I even doing? I almost put the wrong Takumi. I almost put Takumi in the wrong place. He's even got his arms ready to shift. What was I even thinking? That would have been embarrassing. I mean, I would have had to like I would have been able to break him out of it, but it would have been weird. All right, let me put the shifter in here. So yeah, that's the girl who always wears gloves. It's cute, but it's not like I wouldn't call it great. It's perfectly fine. Um, let's see what else. Um, Boundary Labyrinth and the Foreign Magician is another manga I've been reading. This is an isekai that like I don't know why I haven't read this yet. It's fine. Um, dude gets here's the thing. It sucks for this dude, right? He's playing a VR MMO and someone breaks into his house and stabs him. So he dies while playing an MMO. But don't worry because he wakes up uh, in a fictional world based on the game he played, and he is in the body of his character. But there's like a whole backstory and all this. And he awakes to uh, memories of it, and also it's not like he like completely takes over. It's like his regular memories are still there, so he has all those memories of what's happened to him. Um, he's super powerful like right away because he has all this knowledge of how the game works, and he unlocks all his powers that he didn't have before. He suddenly remembers who he is. Uh, and then uh, his maid, who is super powered, his powerful lady who's not his maid anymore, he proposes to her. She says yes. Then there's a young duchess who he saves, and he is engaged to her like instantly, and it's like okay, great. And then the princess of the local region also gets engaged to him, uh, like pretty much immediately. So and then there's also two other ladies that live with him. Uh, I should say the princess is mute due to some trauma, and I assume at some point we'll be able to speak again. Uh, and there are two other ladies that live with her with them that he's not dating, but he did save their lives, and so they're psyched to hang out with them. It's totally fine, and also if I ever stopped watching it or reading it, it would be fine, and I wouldn't remember that I had stopped reading it. He fights a bunch of demons. Uh, yeah, it is what it is, and what it is like fine. I should have put this e-brake in first before I put the. I should have looked because now I'm trying to put this e-brake in and not hit the shifter. So I should have done the e-brake first, but whatever. Hopefully it'll sit there. And now I'm going to put Takumi here in this. I'm just gonna put some here on the seat and place him on the seat. Yeah, you can see he is Takumi ready to shift, ready to. His feet don't really hit the brakes the way he's set up there, but it still looks neat. Anyway, that's the manga talk. What are y'all watching? What are you consuming? Anybody reading anything? You're watching stuff. So this kit is hollow as much as it can be. Yes, this kit is definitely hollow in places. Dirty says, I read a galactic naval officer becomes an adventurer. I would categorize it almost as an isekai, in much that L.E. Modest Jr. is an isekai author with his Recluse series of novels. Okay, yeah, I am not familiar with that, but cool. I hope it's good. I hope you're really enjoying it. All right, so let's get the sides of this car in. Yeah, this thing is like hollow where it needs to be hollow. That is definitely the case of this 124 scale kit. All right, we need 50 and we need 49. And then we can put all of these, we'll put those together and then we can slide in this. We're going to do a test fit and then we'll put it together here. But the side panels of our car are interior here. But yeah, we're building the interior. This is a lot of like get a bunch of components together and then put it all together. Like we're going to be putting a lot of the outside, because we did this step, but then we're doing this step, and then we're like, I don't know, the instructions are weird. They jump around. You started Squid Game, which is pretty cool so far. Yeah, have not watched Squid Game. I certainly know about it. Like there's no way to not know about it. Did I think that the "you smell like weed, I am weed" thing, the meme that was going around, I tweeted about this. I did think that meme was related to Squid Game because I had not seen Squid Game. That meme is not related to that. That is literally a conversation between Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly when they first met each other, which is information nobody needs. We don't need to know that. It is funny to be like, you smell like weed, I am weed. Yeah, I didn't know that was Machine Gun Kelly thing. I was just like, okay. Like, I didn't know what that reference was. I do like that as a response to "you smell like weed" to being like, I am weed, and still like, because like you would think that his response would just be like, you smell like weed. That's probably from all the weed I smoke. But instead he's just like, I am weed, which is just a weird thing to say. But I appreciate it. I don't know. They had a very interesting photo shoot with one having Megan brandishing a gun to his genitals. Interesting is a good word for that. Good descriptor, Thor Ashington. Wristfan says, I've been watching Chris Remo's daily crossword videos lately, and also the recent Waypoint Plus show on Roadside Picnic has caused me to take that book off the shelf and finally read it. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's a thing where it's just like, hey, look, Megan Fox has gone through a lot of complete and utter bullshit that is unwarranted. And like, if this is a thing that is like, her happiness is like tied with this, great, good for her. I hope she is happy with what's happening with her and this fucking dude. I don't know, because that's not my business or job to know if this is like real or media or a combination of both. I hope they are genuinely happy with one another. And this is all great. And this is not just publicity for something. But also, I kind of don't need to know. Though, it was a fun meme to see the variations of it. That was fun. But yeah, I really did wonder if this was a Squid Game reference that I just didn't get because I haven't partaken in Squid Game, other than kind of knowing what it is. And knowing that I probably want to watch this subtitled version because I've heard mixed things about the dub. But certainly the dub compared to the closed caption maybe doesn't line up. Or don't watch the closed caption, the English closed caption with the subtitles, because they will be different, because one of them is subtitles and dubs are different. They're never one-to-one. I like the version with Final Fantasy VIII and those ugly looking character models. Yes, that one was funny. Yeah, there were a few that were good. There was a Link one that I thought was good. Yeah, a few. Okay, so I got to slide this in here. I should get these connected. Well, I can just do this. All right, I want to get this part done because it'll be great. Because then I can say, like, look, I've gotten some things done. So we'll get this connected here. And we'll slide this in. Like this. All right. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I may have to reinforce some of this when I put it in the actual car elements of it. But right now, that's how it's going to rest. So that's kind of where we're at. And then we're going to do a bunch of exterior stuff like the the windows stuff, the bumpers. We're going to do a bunch of stuff on here. And then eventually we will... Oh, this is so weird. Is there no instruction for that part? There isn't. That's so weird. They don't ever give me the instructions of this going into the car. They're just like, yeah, you built that. Oh, here it is. Yeah. We'll just do that now. That's like a step way. There's no reason why that's a step way later. That's a crash test energy. Dan Reichert got his telescope and has been tweeting about that tonight. Okay. I'll check that out. Squid Game had an English dub subtitle and Korean dub subtitle, which is nice. Oh, yeah, that is nice. Yeah. All right, so we'll put this there. Funimation just put up a Chinese series that they also did a Japanese. There's also a Japanese dub for, because it's a co-production between Japan and China. So you can watch the subtitled Chinese version, or you can watch the subtitled Japanese version on Funimation, which I thought was a cool touch that they're going to offer either or both, because there are people out there that are just not ready for to listen to Chinese voices. Can be jarring for people that are used to hearing Japanese voices, which sucks, but it's true. So I'm sure there are some people out there that are like, no. Anyway, we got a fucking lot done on this car. I don't think we're going to finish this on Saturday because we still have to do all of this. We still have a bunch of steps left, but we did make quite a bit of progress on our car here. And then I might have to reapply some liquid cement on this, but I think it'll hold. Anyway, like I said, we did get quite a bit done here. I am pleased with how it's looking. And then, yeah, and then we just got to keep working on it. But, yeah, made some good progress. Dirty, what were you asking? I don't know what you mean. What is it called? Oh, the anime I'm talking about. I apologize, Dirty. I don't know. Check Funimation's Twitter account. I just saw information about it. I don't know the actual name. Is the black on the sides from stickers or more pieces? Unfortunately, the black on the side is from paint, which we don't have. They want me to mask and paint this component black, which unfortunately we will not be able to do. So we will not get the full two-tone. We are going to do the black hood instead of the white hood because we have that. So we're going to do a black hood, and we're going to do black lights So we're going to customize this and modify it so it won't look, that's neat, but a lot of work. Yeah. So we're not going to unfortunately do that. Uh, Tesla.not is kind of weird. The animation reminds me of Ruby, but a little rougher. Yeah, I'm not watching any of the music as a weapon shows, and I think Tesla is one of those. Maybe I can't remember if it is or not, but there's like several anime this season. Uh, yeah, Tesla Note. There's just like a lot this season that are music. Like we fight with music, and I don't want to watch any of those. There's another one that has Dot in it. Um, and I'm like, nah, that's not for me. There's just a bunch of them that I'm like, nope, these are not for me. They might be for somebody else. They're not for me. Anyway, we are going to go raid. We don't have a lot of friends with us tonight, which is okay. It happens. We are going to go on a raid and go see what somebody else is doing out there. So feel free to come along on this raid, please, because it'll be weird if you don't. But we'll find somebody cool who's doing some stuff out there, who's doing things that we like. We're going to go raid Liz Star, who's playing Dragon Force. Liz is great. We raid Liz pretty often here. Liz is playing Dragon Force. Oh, and Liz is using her her weird avatar. So this will be a fun raid because it looks so weird. So we're gonna go give Liz a raid. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I hope you'll come back on Saturday as I continue to work on this kit. And I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Good night, everybody. Oh, we actually have to do the raid before I go. So we're going on this raid. On Saturday, I'll be back here working on this kit. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.